When I got out of the military, I sought that brotherhood again, that pride. In the sheriff's office, there's no greater uniform out there.
It's a great honor to put this uniform on every day. I wear it with pride.
You won't find a career that's more challenging, that's more rewarding.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, Connecting with the Community. I'm your host, Napoleon Bell, and with me, as always, the Sheriff, Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. I'd like to welcome you to the program, sir.
Thank you.
And I know the viewing audience, our second segment is going to be Mattis, the puppy. And so I'm sure you're going to want to stick around and watch that because he's new to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. So appreciate you for being here, Sheriff. And want to get started because we had a long conversation earlier in the first show, but we didn't really get a chance to talk about when you came in to be the sheriff. You went through some reorganization of the different departments and what have you. So if you could explain a little bit about that and maybe some of the key departments that sometimes people just don't know about that even the sheriff's office does.
Yes, early after the primary back in 2016, took a very close look at the organizational makeup of the sheriff's office, and strikingly, it looked a lot like it did in 1978 when I joined Columbus. Had 4 divisions, had patrol, investigative, administrative, and corrections. But back in 1978, the sheriff's office had about 200 total personnel. Today, we're around 1,200. Okay. So it didn't appear to me that there was a lot of preparing or accommodating growth during that time. And so it had grown so much, it gained units like the SWAT team, bomb squad, horse patrol. I mean, there were numerous areas where it grew, not to mention corrections. Corrections went from virtually a very small jail to one of the largest in Ohio now. So looking at that, we decided to try to group everything by function. We broke out the tactical units. By looking at it originally, it didn't appear that there was a lot of coordination of effort. And that's why we wanted to realign all the units. We ended up with a patrol division. We ended up with an investigative division. We broke out the corrections division, which included court security and facility security. We have numerous facilities throughout the county we actually provide security in. And we broke all that out, and we created another administrative division where we moved all the civil and those areas. So by doing that, we felt like we had a much better flow of effort and no duplication of effort.
Okay, so much more efficient. Efficiencies throughout, it sounds like.
Much more efficient. And grouping the like services together allowed us to more aggressively approach issues in the community. We also are in the process now of developing community liaison deputies that will work close with the community, and a new probate unit that will work closely with the courts, Adam H. and other units to better address the probates.
So it sounds like an enhanced outreach and engagement piece that you're putting in place, and also making sure that things are efficient.
Yeah, we are, yes.
Okay. So what are, I think I saw the organizational chart, and there was a piece that was SORN. What is SORN?
SORN's the Sexual Offender Registration and Notification Unit.
Okay.
Every sexual offender convicted in Franklin County, living and working in Franklin County, is required by law to register. There's actually 3 different tiers, but everyone registers with the sheriff's office, and they are tracked, and then we follow up on that.
Okay. Okay. So those are some of the things that you get out in the mail that go out to so many people in case an offender happens to move into the area.
It does, based on the tier level.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So speaking of the office and what much of the office involvement or different areas, task force. Now
Yes.
we briefly hit last show in regards to the HOPE task force.
Yes.
Could you, well, first of all, what does HOPE stand for?
HOPE Task Force is the Heroin Overdose Prevention and Education.
Okay.
HOPE Task Force actually replaced the Franklin County Drug Task Force in 2016, and is mostly comprised of veteran homicide and narcotics investigators. And they also partner with numerous other partners, agencies throughout the county. They responsible for responding to scenes of overdose, and they treat every scene as a crime scene. Okay. And the victims of the overdose are first medical help, get them treatment, and then try to find locations where they can better address the addiction and try to avoid jail altogether.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So, and how long has this task force?
Well, it renamed in 2016 to HOPE.
Okay.
Prior to that was Franklin County Drug Task Force with a little different focus, but now it's more focused on helping the addict, again with education and treatment.
You know, this being such a prevalent piece, you know, with this, you know, with this disease, with you know, the addictions, and this task force, are we making a dent? Are we making a difference?
You know, every day in the news you see more and more incidents of overdose, and it seems, on one hand, that maybe we aren't because there's so many incidents being reported. But I believe, in my opinion, because everyone is so much more aware of it, and I think it's more reporting, and I think that's the reason you're seeing more of that in the news. But yes, in my career in law enforcement, which is almost 40 years, I've never seen so many agencies and different organizations come together to combat one issue.
Wow. Wow. Well, very good. Collective effort to really address it. And apparently it's what's needed here.
It's very impressive, and I believe it's the way to go.
Very good, very good. Well, I see that you can connect with them on Facebook at Hope Task Force, and also on Twitter at Hope Task Force.
Yes.
So two good ways to do that and make sure that you're connected with services if that's necessary or what have you.
Yes.
Now another area that's I almost want to say is the elite part of law enforcement, in the sense that people look at, and that's where new officers or people who want to become officers or deputies, they want to go to this bureau, which is this SWAT. So tell me a little bit about, well, what does SWAT stand for, and you know, the letters, and what's its primary mission?
SWAT is Special Weapons and Tactics. Okay. Actually, kind of it can be perceived as the elite unit within any law enforcement agency, and it's the tactical portion. Glamorized a lot on TV shows through all the years, but it appeals to a lot of people. It's hard. It's a very difficult assignment, very physically demanding, but appeals to a lot of people.
Wow. So when you talk about physically demanding, is there any particular skills or training that you know, if for those deputies, those officers to be able to go into SWAT?
There are, along with the actual requirements just to become a law enforcement officer. SWAT has its own set of higher standards that have to be maintained all the time. I actually have a few notes on what those standards are, and just so I don't misquote, I'll refer to these. To become a SWAT officer, you have to run 1.5 miles in 13 minutes and do 40 continuous bent knee sit-ups under 2 minutes, 35 continuous push-ups under 2 minutes, 3 continuous overhand pull-ups, touch your toe with your fingers while keeping your knees straight, completion of the Illinois agility drill under 18 seconds, which is a speed, nimbleness, and motor ability type testing. Once you complete all of that, there's the firearms portion, because firearms is a large portion of special weapons and tactics, and you have to obtain a score of 23 out of 25, a near perfect score under the OPATA, or Ohio Police Officer Training qualifications requirements.
Wow.
And then once you achieve all of that, and based on seniority, all things being equal, then that's how you're picked to go to the SWAT team. And you have to maintain those standards too, quarterly.
So I guess it's safe to say that I'm not going to SWAT.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Some people have that desire, and if you're not quite in that physical shape, it just takes work and effort, and it's desire.
Okay. Yeah, well, I know a lot of people, and that's what you do see on TV is a tactical piece.
Yes.
But you know, SWAT, you know, is there other things that they do other than, you know, they're set up on the barricade or something to that effect?
SWAT actually has multiple assignments. They do your stakeouts, any type of robbery, burglary, any kind of surveillance like that. They serve arrest warrants. They serve narcotics search warrants. They serve other criminal search warrants. We respond to any requests for service from other agencies. We do dignitary protection, and that's just to name a few. And to maintain proficient in all of those areas of training to do that. quite extensive.
Wow. So yeah, the list goes on and on. So one thing, before we wrap up here, because we're going into the summer months, and there's a task force also that has been put together, which is the Franklin County Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. I
Yes.
understand. Tell me a little bit about that.
Called the ICAC unit, and like you said, it's the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. And again, I have a few notes to refer to from that. As long as I don't tie up too much time here.
No, and go ahead and take your time, because this is something that we, especially with internet and everything that goes,
Yes.
that the young people have access to.
Yes.
Internet all over the place, and so that's access to truly the world.
Yes.
So this is something that's very serious.
The ICAC team, or the ICAC task force, currently has 15 detectives from 15 different Central Ohio law enforcement agencies. They focus on protecting youth. They research complaints of online sexual exploitation, solicitation. They investigate individuals who possess or distribute child sex abuse images or videos. And they patrol the social networking sites and chat engines. You'll see a lot of times in some of the shows on TV where a detective may pose as a child or a victim on the internet. And those are the types of crimes that this unit will investigate.
So when we think about a sexual predator, well, what does a sexual predator look like?
It can look like anyone from your neighbor to your friend to the most attractive, appealing person to the most derelict-looking person. You don't know. You have no idea.
Yeah, sounds like it could be just about anybody.
Anybody with access to the internet and children.
Well, what would somebody do if they suspect someone for being one of these predators, and/or if they feel as though their child might be a victim of this?
Well, number one is call. It never hurts to call. Get a hold of your local law enforcement agency. If you have a task force such as ICAC in your neighborhood, call. Call the sheriff's office, call the police department. But make that initial call, and let us be the ones to determine if it needs to go farther or if there is something there.
Okay. Very good. So we talked about a couple of the task force and then some of the bureaus that make up the department. But now I'm looking at how do we get enough recruits, and then when we get the recruits in, about the training. So there's a class currently doing training.
Currently a class. They're in about their third week. I think they finished their third week today.
Okay.
10-week training program. Has 17 cadets, 10 men and 7 women.
Okay. So 17 are getting ready now with the. Well, let me back up just a bit. With them getting, what did it take to get to that point? So if we're saying we want to have some new deputies to be in the next class, how do they get to that part?
Well, you can go to our website and apply online.
Okay.
And number one, you have to be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or equivalent, and a fairly good record, clean record, and apply.
Okay.
And that's the very first step, and then you will go through the testing procedures, and if you're successful, you can get appointed to the academy class.
Okay. Now that academy class, do you have to live there, or
No,
do you?
no, you don't
Okay.
live on site. It's a Monday through Friday for the most part,
Okay.
8-hour day.
Now, when you talked about those rigors that SWAT's being put through, is there the same type of rigors that you have to go through to be in the academy?
There are. You need to report in hopefully pretty good physical condition. It is demanding on purpose. Again, I have some of my notes to refer to.
Okay, understandable.
But you receive a lot of training as far as strength, endurance, flexibility, agility, and you get a lot of training also in personal physical fitness and how to maintain that throughout your career as a law enforcement officer. I mean, it's kind of your typical physical training, a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, running, calisthenics, that type of training.
Right.
But
right.
you undergo that training almost every day.
Right. Well, I imagine being especially after leaving the academy as a deputy, you then go into the corrections.
You do. You start out in corrections, and hours can be different. You're either second, third shift hours, working holidays, weekends, And sometimes it's really hard to maintain a good physical fitness program, but we also want to teach that part in the academy to help you, because a healthier lifestyle, you're a better employee.
Right, right. Well, and then I can imagine, because I've never worked in corrections, but now you're around some of the worst in a sense there, so you've got to be in some type of shape to be able to handle yourself.
You can be, and like anywhere else, anything in law enforcement, you never know when something could occur. There might be a fight taking place you need to break up. You could become the subject of an assault. You need to be able to respond quickly. And a lot of times just the long hours on your feet and the environment, sometimes it takes a toll on you, and eating habits, and those are very careful to be aware of and maintain.
Right. So how long of a training is it in the academy? How long do you have to stay?
10 weeks. 10 weeks in the academy, and then you go out to your training within the corrections.
Oh, well, so then are you on probation after that?
You are on probation for 1 year after that, yes.
Okay, okay. Goodness, so it sounds like there's a lot of steps well, some steps to getting on, to being accepted, but then you're now, you better be physically ready.
Yes.
To make it through the academy.
You should be, hopefully. And we're not talking, you don't have to be in tip-top shape, but you should have a sense of physical fitness and be working at it. Because there is a lot of running, push-ups, pull-ups. Like I said, it's demanding.
Okay, I totally understand, and that's something that I keep. My son wants to be a police officer, and so he is one to continue to work at it and continue to
let him know that we do hire.
I would do that. I would do that. So when they get out of the academy, and you're going into the corrections. So are you certified at that point? I mean, are right now you're certified to be able to go out and arrest people and
You
do
are.
corrections, or what is
You're
it?
actually two different certifications.
Okay.
The first phase, you're not certified to carry a weapon or to make arrests, but you are a deputy by state definition, and you're just a corrections officer for the most part, and your authority is in the facility while you're working there. Now, what will happen, you may choose or you may choose not to, but some deputies want to obtain their full law enforcement certification, which does enable them to carry a weapon and have arrest power.
Okay.
And then after going through the initial 10 weeks, to obtain that certification, you repeat the entire academy class over, and which is 20 plus weeks of training.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's so once you're done with one, you'll probably continue doing additional training.
Very many deputies do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, Sheriff's Office, that is a lot of work that is being done, but also, you have a wide variety of things that are being done. I know in future shows what we're going to do is we're going to highlight those different bureaus and departments within the Sheriff's Office to show the amount of work that's being done, but then also we want to be able to highlight, the Sheriff came up with a new program called the Sheriff's Community Star, in which we're going to be highlighting people in the community that are doing ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So be sure to watch out for that. We've got a great response. As a matter of fact, we just presented a person with that today. So,
outstanding. Very good.
This is something that we will continue to work with the community and really highlight things that are going on. So with that being said, I think we're going to let the Sheriff take a break here, but we're going to be coming back with Mattis. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We are here for Mattis's first day of training at Buckeye K-9. We're very excited.
Yay! Tonight's the starter. A lot of the dogs are kind of nervous in the beginning, so we just do some simple sit and stays and then some walking on the leash.
Yeah. He's the Sheriff's Office new therapy dog. He's beginning training.
Cool. Give them a treat as soon as they sit down. Just don't let them get up. Sit. For a few seconds. Sit. 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 Good girl.
Sit, Pebble.
Sit.
Pebble. 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 Sit. Pebble. Sit. Pebble. Sit. Sit. Sit, Pebble.
That's it. Good job, buddy. Good. And then when you stop, put him back in a sit.
Sit. Heel.
Hey everybody, we're just checking in with training. We've been in training about 3 weeks now. Mattis is doing great, training me as well. I'm learning just as much as him, so we're looking forward to the next 3 weeks and see what that has in store for him.
Hi, Brandy from Buckeye Canine, talking with Mattis. What we're doing is we've been working with heels and sits and sit stays, and we started introducing the downs and door manners. So for the next 3 weeks we'll be doing, besides the heels and the sits and stays, we're adding the downs, we're doing some comms, we're doing some place work, adding a lot of distractions, some crutches, some vacuum, socialization, and all that fun stuff.
Yep. Good boy.
Well, welcome back to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, connecting with the community. And as you see, we have the Mattis here. He is a growing boy and an amazing young puppy, and we also have with him Deputy Metz. And so, Deputy, first of all, this has been the shining star, through Facebook and going all over the world, it seems like. But first of all, let me ask you this: what type of puppy is this?
Mattis is an English Labrador Retriever.
English Labrador Retriever.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to get pretty big.
He is. He's projected to be about 85 pounds. The kennel that he came from, Borodor Labradors, is actually the same kennel that breeds for the Columbus Zoo.
Oh, okay.
So his dad weighed 95 pounds and
Oh,
his
my
mother
goodness.
weighed 75. So
Oh, my
they
goodness.
picked the middle ground. So for my sake, I'm hoping 85.
Okay.
So for my sake.
Right. Well, he's a big, lovable dog already. I mean, he's how old?
He is 4 months.
4 months.
4 months old.
Okay, so he is growing like a weed.
Yes, he is.
Does he eat a lot of food?
He's tripled in size since I've had him for 2 months.
Okay.
So I got him when he was just about 8 weeks old, and he has absolutely tripled in size.
Wow. So, this is a therapy dog.
It is.
Explain to the general public, what's a therapy dog?
Well, a therapy dog is going to be used to connect with the community.
Okay.
And it could be used for victim advocacy, to help victims of crime who are uncomfortable. We can go on hospital visits and spend time with patients there, nursing homes, VAs. And it really bridges the gap as well between every department of the sheriff's office. We could be used in the detective bureau, used in situations where patrol has a death notification or something like that with a family of young children. We can be used in that manner as well. Just as you can see, he wants to go. He's not used to being on display on a desk.
Very playful.
Lay down, bub. Down.
Yeah, so
Down.
very good was, and
boy.
I guess that's good for a therapy dog to be able to get along with just about anybody. I mean,
Yes.
Okay.
And he's doing great, and his socialization is going wonderfully. He comes to work every single day, and I think, 900 Hague is a lot happier with him around. So it's really, you can see it working.
Yeah. So you kind of talked about training. Is there any particular training that a therapy dog has to go through?
Yeah, so Mattis right now is in basic puppy training, basically, and he is going to graduate June 5th from that, and then he'll start advanced classes. And then the 2 major programs that he still has to go through is Canine Good Citizen and therapy certification. So we're hoping by September he will be able to be out in public, full go, answer all these requests that we are getting, and keep them coming in. We're just putting them on a list. We'll make sure we hit everybody once he's ready to go.
So that's when he hits the streets,
So to speak, yeah.
Does he get the nice jacket and what have you and all of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give him a little therapy dog vest so
Right.
people know that he's working, and he's pretty good so far. He knows when we go to work. When I put my gun belt on in the morning,
Okay.
he sits at the door and he's ready to go into the cruiser. So he's getting assimilated to all those things.
Okay. So, but so much attention, and deservedly so is on the pup. But what about you? What made you want to say that this is what I want to do, or this is where I can see I can help? Why did you choose to do this?
I think this is just another aspect of reaching out into the community. I was just trying to think of different ways that we hadn't really thought of before, that we could reach out into the community and continue to bridge those gaps between law enforcement and our people that we serve. And I had been researching. I saw an agency in California was doing it, and I thought, why not us? So decided that it was probably a good idea to pitch, and luckily Sheriff Baldwin loved the idea, and we were able to move forward with the dream. So I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Excellent. Now, as you're talking about some others in the country, are we the only one in the state, or is there any others within the state that you
I don't know of any in the state. I know that there are about 10 agencies that have full-time therapy dogs.
Okay.
And the other that actually are from their department.
Right.
The other ones are part-time, and they're still the people's pets.
Okay.
So Mattis is actually going to be a deputy, so
Okay.
that's the great thing about this.
Very good, very good. Well, you know, I can also see, you know, we talk about helping people in the community, but I can see also that helps people, you know, on the department.
Absolutely.
You know, because it is a position, you know, being a deputy and being on the streets on whatever bureau they're in can be very stressful. You know, so this would seem like to be a good thing just to be
Yes.
having around the office.
Absolutely, and that, you know, there's not going to be any definition as to, well, we can only serve these people. I mean, you know, people need him within the office. We make visits around the county every day. So
Yes.
yesterday we went to the radio room for second shift. So
Okay.
so everybody's getting to meet him and love on him and get him accustomed to a lot of different people, a lot of different environments, and he's doing great.
Well, since I'm at 900 Hague, you know, I can always say, I just knew him when he was a wee thing, right?
Yes.
I have watched him grow. Well, very good. And well, last but not least, I understand, you know, he has his own Facebook page.
He does. You can follow him on Facebook at MattisK9, and also on Twitter at MattisK9.
Oh my gosh. You know, he'll probably have more Facebook fans than anybody I know. And just, now, how does this Paul's tweet? That's what I want to know.
He just presses the button.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds great. Well, that's Mattis. And thank you so much, Deputy. It's been a pleasure. We appreciate what you're doing and making sure Mattis is out there. And Mattis, we thank you. All right.
Say thanks.
All right. Have a great day. That wraps it up for another edition of the Franklin County Sheriff's Office Connecting with the Community. Thanks to our partners, the Ohio Media School and CTV. But be sure to watch the rebroadcast on CTV Channel 3 and 99 on AT&T Uverse. But don't forget to like us on Facebook. You want to search Franklin County Sheriff's Office, and also follow us on Twitter. Don't forget also to get involved, get engaged, because together we can make a difference. Have a great day.